Alright, let's check out this video.
I would describe myself as creative.
Hardworking.
Powerful.
I am caring.
Determined.
If I had to describe myself in one word, I would say that I am determined.
I would describe myself as hardworking,
Kind.
Enthusiastic.
Loyal.
No man actually thinks that women are less capable than men at completing tasks. I mean, unless it comes to anything physical.
No, I think I have the same capability as men because as long as you have the motivation and dedication yourself, you will be able to pursue what you want.
She's right, and that's a great message.
I am not any less capable because I think ability does not necessarily rely on gender.
Everybody agrees with you.
No, I'm not any less capable of doing any task than a man just because I'm a woman. In order to do something, you need to work hard, set your mind to it, and just push yourself and challenge yourself. And it doesn't matter what gender you are.
Alright, it seems like we have a consensus among the entire United States population. Everybody's been treated unfairly. How do we know it's because you were a girl? That's the flaw with this question.
I wouldn't say unfairly, but I've definitely been underestimated.
Everybody has.
In middle school PE class, people would just assume that I wasn't as good at the games or sports we played in class because I was a woman.
Statistically, men are better at sports than women. Plus, this isn't about whether or not you're good at sports. When it comes to PE, everybody's just going to stick with their friend. Like, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are, you're going to want to hang out with your friends, right? You're going to want your friends on your team. They could be the most dog shit players on the planet. It doesn't matter as long as they're your friends.
I do feel like when the boys have to play against the girls, the boys feel like they're always better and they don't even give the girls a chance.
I've never played against a team of girls that we haven't slaughtered.
At one point, I went to summer camp, and the summer camp offered like different classes you can take, and I really wanted to take computer science. And when I did, I was the only girl there, and the guys think of me less because I was.
All right, well, I actually know what happened here. I've heard this story several times. A lot of my friends were actually in this computer class with her. And what they've all told me is that she was the most annoying person in the class at all times. Nothing to do with her being a girl, just her being annoying.
At my old school, I wanted to play basketball, and the boys did not want me on their team, and it made me feel really bad.
Once again, that's sad, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty, it's just they're gonna stick with their friends. It has nothing to do with you being a girl.
On a family vacation with some of my boy cousins, and we all really wanted to go parasailing. And we told my grandma, and she said, "Oh yeah, all of you boys can go parasailing, but Christina, you're not allowed to go parasailing." And I asked her why, and she looked me in the eyes and said, "Well, because you're a girl."
Notice how the only instance of actual racism or sexism here is from her grandma.
A lot of the stereotypes I face every day deal with me being a female. I'm looked at as sometimes not as smart enough, not as strong enough, not capable, even though those are all false things, and you can't really determine those things by just identifying my gender.
The irony.
I definitely feel like I'm not able to express emotions, or I haven't been able to express emotions as well as I could have because it's been seen more manly, less feminine. I wouldn't be able to get mad as well as I should have.
Okay, what she's saying here is completely true. When it comes to men, I've never heard of a woman having to suppress her emotions for fear of being judged by others. That's all men, all day.
Everyday stereotypes I face as a woman is that I'm not as strong or
It's
not able to
true.
protect people due to my gender or as
Who are you protecting?
intelligent.
I'll tell you what it means to me, right? Since women are on average weaker than men, this only applies to anything physical. So if you're trying to lift a heavy box and you can't do it, and your uncle says, "Hey, you're lifting like a girl," that's an insult because girls are on average weaker. It only makes sense. And once again, I haven't heard that in 10 years. No one says that.
To do something like a girl is to do something confidently and with strength.
If you were to ask me this question before high school, I probably would have said that to do something like a girl means to do it worse or to do it in a more girly way. But now I would say that because I'm educated about it and because I'm more confident in myself, I would say that to do something like a girl is to do something better. It's to do something just as good, if not better, than a man while facing many barriers.
That's what this whole movement boils down to. Women just want to be better than men. Obviously, not all, right? But these third wave neo feminists, all they want to do is be better than men. And when there's no actual sexism to fight, they fight just the average Joe, just chilling on the side of the street. Call him a sexist for walking in their space.
Which means you had to work 10 times harder. So I think to do something like a girl is to persevere.
To do something like a girl means to do something to the best of your abilities.
Amen.
Sexism can happen anywhere.
Mainly in sports, but I see it all over.
Sexism can take place anywhere. It doesn't take a lot for it to happen. It can be at school, in your neighborhood.
I'm going to tell you right now, sexism won't affect your future unless you let it affect your future. If you run in everywhere screaming that you're a feminist that like wants to get paid more even though you're doing less work or you're already getting paid equally to the men, it won't affect you.
So sexism will definitely impact my future. Unfortunately, I think it's something that all women will have to go through some point in their lives. We'll definitely face some inequality and some injustice just because we are female.
What about male secretaries? You don't hear a lot about them.
But that's not going to stop me from doing what I want to do and pursuing the career I have interest in. I'm just going to keep doing me, and it doesn't matter that I'm a female.
Good for you.
Sexism may make it hard for me to get a job.
I think sexism will impact my future.
All right. She said that sexism will make it harder for her to get a job. The complete opposite is true in reality. Because when a company has too many men, which is almost every STEM field, which isn't due to sexism, it's due to less women going into those fields. They are so quick to accept these women into their folds without even questioning their qualifications.
Future, when I'm looking for a job, I might be treated unfairly because of my gender, and I might not receive the same pay for the same work just because I'm a girl.
All right, the wage gap has been debunked so many times. I'm going to debunk it in one sentence. You ready for this? You ready? If women were only paid 80 cents to every dollar a man made and you could get away with it, I would hire only women. If they're doing equal work and I could pay them 20 cents less for every dollar, do you know how much money I will save? I'll be the richest man in America. Wage gap is a crazy argument. I don't understand it.
I think that we as women have taken enough crap that we can go into anything in life.
What crap have you taken in specifics? Because earlier you said that you haven't faced any discrimination, just kind of some stereotypes.
Overcome it.
We can overcome sexism if all women band together and show united community and nation.
What's
At
sexism?
least a good first step to take is to educate people. If you hear someone saying something that's sexist, tell them that it's sexist. Tell them that it's not okay. Don't demean them, but educate them about the issue.
That's a great point. I completely agree.
Definitely, sexism is not over.
Definitely not.
No, it is not.
No.
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 No. No.
Sexism in base of law and culture is completely dead. Anyone that says otherwise has not looked at the statistics and the data, because they will realize that sexism is completely gone. Are there sexists? Yes, of course. There are sexists in some southern states and even a few in places like Charlottesville. Obviously, we saw the. Ew, you get it. Here are some facts to prove that sexism is not over. All right. 56% of men think sexism is over. How does that prove that sexism is over? I I don't get that. That makes no sense. All right. The US men's some team versus the US women's some team. And the men get paid 7 times more than the women. Here's what I've noticed, right? The NBA obviously brings in a lot more money than the WNBA. The men, on average, bring in more money for these companies that sponsor them and actually show them on TV. So, of course, they're going to get paid more when they're making more money. These companies aren't trying to go under by giving women the same amount as the men who are bringing in way more money than them. On average, women make 80 cents to a man's dollar. Okay, already debunked this. 62 million girls are denied on education all over the world. I like how they say all over the world, right? Because it's not America that's denying education for women. It's places like China, North Korea, anywhere in the Middle East, India. It's places like that that are denying education for women. It's not America. It's not any Western country. Of the 435 seats in the House of Reps, women hold 29. Now, is that a result of sexism or a result of personal choice? I don't know any woman that wants to go into politics, and that's just anecdotal. But when you look at professions like sanitation, men are highly overrepresented in sanitation. And I don't see women going out marching in the streets with signs that say equal representation in sanitation. It's all men. Sexism has been around since man has existed. That's not a reason for sexism today. It will take about 475 years before women are as equally represented at the top of the career ladder as they are at the bottom. Or maybe we have a lack of women starting up companies. And I don't even know where they get this statistic. That seems a little off. The United States of America has never had a female president. This is not proof of sexism in America. We haven't had a gay president. Does that mean we discriminate against gays? I know a lot of you are going to say yes, actually. Okay. We don't have a dog president. Does that mean we discriminate against dogs? No, obviously not. So just because not as many women have run for president as men and gotten elected, that doesn't mean that America is inherently racist. If you look at who actually voted for Hillary Clinton, it was all women. It was essentially just a gender war. It's about 78% women, uneducated as well. All right, well, that was interesting. I like the format. I like it was appropriate. time of the actual words on screen. So overall, well done with this. The point was portrayed clearly. I just don't think it's that good of a point.